Hello, my divers, and welcome to the very first official episode of Diving Deep with me, Des. Today, we're going to be diving into all things me, what I've been up to, and what I have planned for the future of Diving Deep. So, whenever you're ready, go ahead, grab a snack or maybe two, sit back, and get ready to dive. So, before we dive deep, I have to tell you who I am. So, for those of you that don't know me, hi, I'm Des. I'm 22 years old, and I was born in Chicago, Illinois on January 21st, 2002. That makes me an Aquarius Sun, a Taurus Moon, a Gemini Rising, and an Aquarius Venus. I don't know much about astrology, but I know enough to get me by, and I know that I don't like signs like Libras or Cancers. I lived in Schiller Park for a little bit, and then I lived in Chicago until I was 4 years old. And then after that, my mom and we moved to Lake Station, Indiana. And I went to Carl J. Polk Elementary, and it's not a school anymore, and that kind of makes me sad because I spent a lot of time there, and I was always in like the math bowls and the science bowls. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I would go to math and science program after school. Like, why was I in school so much? Like, what the heck? I don't even like science, honestly. Um, but outside of school, I would spend a lot of time at the Boys and Girls Club, and it was really fun there because they had like pool tables and foosball tables, and there was lots of different like clubs and different programs you could do. So I was always in the art programs, and like I did art shows. I actually won some art shows, like first place type shit. And I was only like 8 years old. Like Picasso could never. And then I walked in a fashion show there, and that was the first time I ever had my hair curled, like that my hair could keep the curl, because my hair used to be so thick and heavy that I'm pretty sure they used like a whole bottle of hairspray. That was the only way to get my hair to stay. But it was cute. I have pictures of it in my scrapbook. And yeah, whenever I was there, I was always most of the time in the art room or in the computer lab, like watching Britney Spears music videos. They had like a senior room, and that was for the older kids. And they would always watch movies. And I remember one day they were watching It, and I walked in to the senior room and they were watching that. And then it was right when It jumped on the TV screen. And that's low key why I'm scared of clowns. Like, deeply scared of clowns. But yeah, so I just did that most of my time. I was really smart, but I didn't really like going to school because I low-key was bullied a lot because I'm brown, and brown girls are sadly always the victims of bullying. But yeah, people bullied me, so I was really depressed. I think I would say like elementary school was when I first started developing depression in a way because of the bullying. And because I was bullied, I ended up being really closed off to everyone. Like, I remember fifth grade having like one friend, literally one friend. It was me and this girl, Madison, and we would sit at our own table at lunch and everything, and like everyone would still like be trying to bully us. But you know why they would bully us? Okay, first off, they would bully me because I had thick eyebrows. At least I don't have to pay to get the microblade in. And they would bully me because I'm hairy. Lash extensions are $150. Baby, this is a $7.99 curling one. And because I had braces, it doesn't look like it now, but I had braces, and I was one of the first kids at my elementary school to have braces. And so everyone made fun of me because I had braces. So yeah, so then we moved and we left Lake Station at the end of fifth grade, and I was really happy about this because I got to get away from everyone. And so we moved to Franklin Park, and I went to Hester Junior High. We were the Wildcats, and I remember it being like kind of hard because like all the bullying I experienced in Lake Station made me like not really want to make friends. And Hester Junior High, because it was junior high, all the kids from the elementary schools, they were all joining together in this one school now, but because they all grew up with each other, they kind of already had their own cliques and like friends. Where like me, I was coming straight in, I didn't know a single person. So that, like, because I was bullying and that made me so closed off, it made it hard for me to make friends when everyone already had theirs established, if that makes sense. And but eventually I made friends with kids in like my homeroom. That's what I'm really glad for, is the homerooms, because those were like the first kids that were forced to be my friend. Because we would just be like doing the icebreakers and stuff. But yeah, after I found my friend group at Hester, for the most part it was like pretty chill. I would, just like I did in elementary school, I would do like art, I was in choir, I was in the musicals, and my time at Hester really furthered my love for music and like musical theater. Because honestly, I don't think I would have even known about that if I hadn't gone to Hester. And I love musicals now. Like I can recite to you every single word and song of Hamilton. Like right now, I could give you a one woman show if you really got if you really wanted me to. Um, So yeah, I never really did sports or anything. Oh no, that's a lie. I did cheerleading in middle school too. Um oh, I also took this class called FACS, and we would like cook and sew. And so because I already had a love for fashion through the Boys and Girls Club, them teaching us how to sew was like the best thing that could have ever happened, because then I like would make my own clothes sometimes. I never wore them out cuz I was like too scared, but I would just like dabble with extra fabric and stuff that we had around the house. Oh, and facts, we like cooked, and then in high school I took all these cooking classes because I had so much fun in facts. What does facts stand for? FACS. Oh yeah, so I was a little involved, and I didn't start with that many friends, but once I started gaining friends, I got a little cocky with it, and I was a bitch in middle school, and no one like ever really stopped me. So I would just roam the halls. Like, I thought I was like 6'10", like 500 pounds, and no one can touch me type shit. Like, girl, you are probably 4'11 max. Like, sit your ass down. And then in 8th grade, I had my first fight because of the fact that I was a bitch. My problem is I would instigate shit because I was always told, if you want to fight someone, don't hit them first. So if I can't hit you first, I have to instigate shit if I want to hit you. And that's what I would do. So I got into my first fight in 8th grade with this girl named Viviana, and instead of us like getting in trouble, we got Papa John's. Like, it was our assistant principal's last year working there, and he said, I think arguments are better discussed over food. So we met up during lunch. The whole like table was covered in like pizza and breadsticks and all this stuff. And I was like, so I just fought a girl and I get pizza, bro. Like, I'm doing this every day. Like, this is fun. But he was also like mentally checked out, which I get. But still, like, I'm fighting at 7:30 in the morning. First off, why do I have that much energy? Why can't I have that energy now? And also, I get you're like out of it, but don't give me Papa John's. Like, you should have made me eat the lunch food, that disgusting ass lunch food. Hester doesn't even feel real, bro. So yeah, this was in my 8th grade at Hester, and then I graduated in 2016. And then shortly after that, in the fall, I started my freshman year at East Leiden High School. And considering that for my first ever fight, I got Papa John's, I saw nothing wrong with fighting. And I figured maybe all the principals will give me Papa John's. So I got into 2 more fights my freshman year of high school. No Papa John's. Only in-school suspensions. And they treat you like a prisoner in in-school suspension. Like, we literally had to walk in a single file line to go to the bathroom, to go to the lunchroom. Like, you would have thought you were in Cook County sometimes, seriously. But yeah, my first fight was with this girl named Giselle, and it was on her birthday. I'm so sorry. And everyone thinks that we fought over a boy. And that is the biggest fucking lie. I don't even like boys. Spoiler alert, I don't even like boys. So everyone thinks that we fought over a boy, and we did not fight over a boy. Does that make my fighting correct? No. But it wasn't over a boy. And yeah, so Giselle was my second fight in my lifetime. And I actually went to the club the other day, and this guy came up to me and my friend, and he's like, "Oh, you're just gonna act like you don't know who I am." And me and my friend, we were literally that vine of the little white boy who's like, "Wait a minute, who are you?" That was literally me and Jenna. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm Kareem," and we're like, "I don't know you." And he's like, "Oh, I dated Giselle," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember you." But it's also like they've been broken up, I would assume, for a long time now. Why is the first thing you say to someone, "Oh, I dated that girl"? Just tell me, "Yeah, I'm Kareem from football," or "I'm Kareem from your high school." Like, why introduce yourself as, "Yeah, I dated Giselle"? Is that your biggest accomplishment? And then my second fight was with this girl, Tamara, and it was in the science hallways. And I ended up hitting her in the face with my laptop, like the school issued Chromebooks. And then we like got sent to the office or whatever. They showed me the videotape of the fight, and the principal didn't catch that I had hit her in the face with my Chromebook. So I didn't get in trouble because they considered it self-defense. Except I opened my big ass mouth and I texted someone who asked me about the fight saying, "Oh yeah, I hit her in the face with my Chromebook." They went back to the tapes, watched that shit in slow motion, and you can clearly see me hit her in the face with my Chromebook. So then I got suspended after that for a few days. I was like, fuck, why did I even tell them? Oh, yeah. And then our freshman year was when people started writing bomb threats on our math calculators. And we literally had to get our calculators taken away because they were writing bomb threats. Like, what? People are fucking insane. But yeah, aside from the fights and the bomb threats, I mean, my freshman year was pretty chill. I still was in choir, except it was my first period, so I ended up hating choir because I'm not a morning person, and why would I want to be singing that early in the morning, you know? But yeah, I did choir, I did theater, I like did set design. Oh, I was actually head of sound. Yeah, even though me and Giselle fought, we kind of ended up like being friends later on in high school because we were in the same friend group, and so we were just kind of forced to be around because like obviously no one wants to be friends with someone that they just fought, but because we had the same friends, like we were just bound to be around each other, so we just had to be cordial. And honestly, that friend group led me to like a lot of my biggest regrets in my high school life. Granted, I can't go back and change anything, but if I could go back in time and warn freshman year me, I would say that friend group would be the biggest thing I'd warn myself about. Only because it led me to make bad decisions. I think I was just so caught up in the idea of like, wow, I'm finally popular, even though that means fucking nothing. Like, especially after you leave high school, no one gives a fuck if you were homecoming fucking queen or, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't matter in the real world. Except I got so caught up in it in high school because for once I wasn't the one being bullied. I was able to take that power back and do the bullying and wreak havoc all over Leiden. So yeah, I just wreaked havoc all over the school, and everyone kind of just let me. And we would also like on the weekends be getting so disgustingly drunk in Anthony's basement. And looking back at that, it's like I was only like 16, you know, like that's kind of fucked. But yeah, I hung out with them for most of my high school time. So yeah, so junior year is like when I started withdrawing more from the group. And my only tie that I really had was to this kid named Anthony. He was like really the last person of the group that I tried to be friends with because we knew each other the longest. Like I'd known him since before 6th grade because we went to church school. Anyways, he was like my last tied to this group. And then the summer of after junior year, he went on vacation. I think he went to like Italy or something. So because he wasn't, my one tied to this group wasn't here anymore, I just like didn't feel the need to reach out and hang out with anyone from the group. So my senior year, I went into it not being friends with any of them. And I ended up being friends with like this other group of guys. And all I did was smoke weed 24 fucking 7, pop tabs like it was fucking candy, like not a good time. So obviously I hit rock bottom. Like I will admit I hit rock bottom. Yeah, so because I had exiled myself and then they just picked up on the fact and then like when you stop being friends with someone randomly, I think it's hard to accept that there's no beef. So I feel like because I was no longer involving myself with them, they felt the need to create a beef. And I was the easy target, which was a bad mistake because I knew all their secrets. So, thus brings the Twitter beef of 2019. One morning, I made the tweet, and I quote, I can't stand the class of 2020. A bunch of peak in high school ass motherfuckers. Hit tweet. Again, 7:30 in the morning. All of my best moments happen at 7:30 in the morning. Why do I have this much energy? I don't know. Why did I wake up and choose violence every day? I would love to know. So I hit send on that tweet, and my first class of the day was senior seminar with only students of the class of 2020. So our dear friend Anthony decides to turn around. Mind you, he sat at the front of the class, right across the teacher. Turn around and give a demonstration of my tweet out loud to the whole class. Obviously, that didn't end correctly. That whole group started attacking me on Twitter, which not rightfully so, because I did not say any names or point anyone directly. It was just an overlying topic of conversation. I didn't put an at on it, but if the shoe fits, lace it up, I guess. So that started the Twitter war. Nasty things were said. But then it kind of just died out, honestly. Like everyone was so riled up about this Twitter beef. I was just in it for the clout, honestly. I was in it because it's like I'm bothering you guys publicly through Twitter. Like I'm just chilling, typing in class. And then I went about my day as if nothing happened. But that Twitter beef led to me being harassed by a few of the people in that group. This kid, Jake, especially, would constantly be like trying to start shit with me in the hallways, constantly trying to start shit over social media. But he didn't really come around the group until after I left the group. So I never really understood why he felt the need to be so. So yeah, and then I was in this class. I want to say it was catering, and that was another class that was made up of mostly people from this group. And so I would hate going to that class, even though those classes with Miss Sweeney were like my lifeline throughout high school for most of the time. Yeah, so one day I got into a fight with this girl named Crystal in that classroom, and she was like 5 inches taller than me, like double my size. No reason to be fighting this girl. But I remember she like was being not the smartest, and I was getting fucking annoyed. And I remember me telling one of my friends that had came to the class. I was like, yeah, she's being so dumb. Like she needs to not be at the table in my space. And after I said she needs to not be in my space, she came in and got in my space, and she started like shoving her body against mine. and she like backed me into the corner of an oven that was on because we were baking stuff for a catering event the next day. I'm not trying to be like that movie where can you get in the oven to clean it? No, grandma, I'm not getting in the fucking oven. So I had really no other choice but to hit this girl to get her out of my face. But because I was in preschool and I was in Taste of Teaching. I was in preschool and Taste of Teaching, and they have a no fighting tolerance because as teachers we're representing the school. So I got kicked out of not only catering, that was a double period, I got kicked out of Taste of Teaching, which was one period, and I got kicked out of preschool, which was another double period. So I was kicked out of 5 classes my senior year. I only had 4 classes, and I was like so depressed because I no longer had like my extracurricular classes that I would just skip school. I would skip classes. So I would be in the bathroom in the basement just getting fucking high out of my mind because I was so miserable at school. I had journalism, which was a class that 95% of the students in that class were the people I just stopped being friends with and had a whole Twitter beef with. So after our teacher would take attendance, I would just fucking dip. I would call my aunt like, "Hey, can you come get me?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, I'm here," because my aunt's mom lived across the street from the high school, so she would just always be there. So I'd be like, "Hey, can you please come get me?" And she'd be like, "Yeah." Or I was also friends with this girl Julia. She was a year older than me, and so she was out of school. So I'd please come get me, dude. And then she'd come get me, and we'd go to like fucking Chick-fil-A and shit. So journalism, I had it third period, and one day there was a stabbing in our school, and we didn't like know what was going on because in the basement there's no fucking service because everything is just like pure brick. And I remember like us getting the over the intercom like code red, code red. So we everyone in my journalism class, again, so many people that I just stopped being friends with and had so many problems with, all of us were forced to hide in a room in the basement. I don't want to like expose the room just in case they still use it as like an escape plan, you know? But we were forced all into this one room. Everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? Because again, no service. We have no way of contacting people besides our Chromebooks. Like I literally had my Chromebook like emailing my mom like, "Oh my god, I don't know what's going on." Like obviously when you have no connection to what's going on, you're thinking the worst. So we're literally thinking like someone just got shot or something, like what the fuck. And like all these rumors are spreading about what's going on, obviously. And I was having a panic attack because I generally like I was like, fuck, what if I don't ever see tomorrow? Because I grew up watching way too much Degrassi, so I've seen like the school shooter episodes and stuff. So I was like, fuck, like that's gonna be me right now. So I was having a panic attack because I was like, I'm in a room with people who, no offense, I don't want to die with these people. Like, what the fuck? So I remember like this girl Olivia from the group, she like was the only one out of all of them that like came up to me and like gave me a hug, and she was like, "It's okay, like we're gonna be okay." And like that meant so much to me because I was so scared, and like, you know, like she didn't even need to do that after all the shit like that just went down, but she did. So like I really appreciated that. And then because I was like, what the fuck? Like I literally was like hyperventilating. My teacher let me use the class phone to dial out and to call my mom, and then my mom, because I only know my mom's phone number, so I had to call my mom who was at work to call my aunt to come get me. And then like my aunt came, there were so many parents that came. Obviously if there's like something going on at your kid's school, you want to be able to remove them, but they didn't let us. We were on lockdown. I want to say we were on lockdown maybe an hour or more. Honestly, I don't know. It felt like fucking days. Like it was a lot. Till this day, I don't really know what happened. Like no one really knows about the kid. Like Leiden tried so hard to like brush that shit under the rug that I'm like, what happened to that kid for real? Because we thought someone. The story I knew was that this girl named Genesis got shot. So that was like the rumor that was speculating during it, but I don't really know what it actually was even. All I know is that it was a stabbing with like a pencil, I think, in the neck. You don't know? No.
It was gang affiliated. Yeah, it was between freshmen's gang related.
Gang freshman? You're like 14 years old.
Yeah, and it was with the fucking not even a knife. It was like
a pencil, wasn't it?
Kitchen utensil. Yeah.
A kitchen?
And it was through the neck.
Your brother witnessed it?
He was in that class. He was like, I was next to him.
Was it like the cooking class?
And it was in the library.
Right, that's what I heard. Was it in the library? Oh my god.
Wait, was it in a class? No, it was like in the going entrance of the library hall. Damn. See, on the second floor. I thought it was in a class. It was about to be passing period, like right after class. Oh, really?
Yeah, it had to be like 10. 10 a.m. and you're stabbing someone at school, bro. You couldn't at least wait till you're home. What the fuck? By the end of the damn. He chose violence. Motherfuckers ain't even had lunch yet. Like fuck. So I miserably made my way through my senior year, and then on March 13th, we got a message over the intercom saying that we had to clean out all our lockers. Not clean them out all the way, but like to take all our stuff because it was about to be spring break, but also because COVID was shutting down the fucking world. And I was like kind of geeked because I'm like, no more school. But then a week later, they literally canceled everything. And I was supposed to see Billie Eilish and Jessie Reyez on March 26th. And the whole world shut down on March 13th. So I was salty. But yeah, so I did what anyone did during COVID. I was at home making fucking TikToks. Like, that's all I did. I thought I was going to be the next Charlie D'Amelio. I would do photo shoots. I would like recreate Brat's photo shoots in my little apartment bedroom because during senior year we lived in Norwich. I lived out of district and I would claim my aunt's address. That was my old address. So in my little apartment, I would be doing Brat's photo shoots. I would do this throughout the night. I would be going to sleep when my parents were waking up to go to work. So like 7 in the morning, I'm like pretending to sleep, full face beat, makeup, outfit, backdrop. That's crazy, dude. But COVID was like not fun because COVID's not fun, but quarantine was kind of fun in the sense that I was able to be creative. Like I would sell my paintings for money, which shout out if you bought one of my paintings because they're not like the best. But I made money that way, so it worked for me. During quarantine, I was just very creative, but this is also when I started taking like hella acid. And and then my old friend group, they would make TikToks about me and talk shit about me on TikTok. So then I ended up blocking all of them on every single social media platform. I blocked them, I blocked their friends, I blocked like a few of their parents even. Like I was like, y'all are not no, if I don't have to see you, I'm not hearing from you, you know? So yeah, I spent quarantine being able to be really creative. And then in the fall of 2020, I previously committed to Eastern Illinois. So that fall, I left and made my way to Charleston, Illinois. It was 3 hours from home. And I chose Eastern Illinois because not a single person from my high school ever really goes to Eastern Illinois. So I was like, okay, cool. This is going to be my fresh start. I don't have to see anyone, you know. I don't know anyone, which is what drew me to liking and being attracted to Eastern Illinois, except because of COVID, that quickly bit me in the ass because I did not know anyone. And the week that I was moving in, all my classes were changed to online. I had, I think, one in-person class, and we only met in person like once or twice a week. So I was literally paying thousands of dollars to sit in my dorm room and just teach myself and doing fucking discussion oh yeah, I really agree with what you said. I don't care what you said. I hated those. Oh, they also upgraded us to not have any roommates. So not only was I in a school where I didn't know anyone, I wasn't going to classes, I also didn't have a roommate like most people do. So I really was fucking alone. And I got depressed, like really bad depression because I'm literally alone. And I would cry to my mom like at least twice a week over the phone. And Charleston was 3 hours away from our apartment in Norwich. My mom and my grandma would hop in their car early as fuck in the morning on like a Friday, because Friday I didn't have any classes really, so they would come drive 3 hours to Charleston on Friday, drive 3 hours back home to Norwich. I would be home for the weekend, which most of the time I wasn't even home. I would be with my one fucking friend Nadia. And then on that Sunday, they would drive 3 hours back and 3 hours back home. They loved me, bro. They also probably just like didn't want me to fucking kill myself, which like valid. Um, I actually tried to kill myself with melatonin, but lucky for me, you can't die on melatonin because it just makes you shit. Like after you have like I forget the specific amount, but after you have that certain amount, you just shit it out. It's like a laxative, and I learned that the hard way. But yeah, Eastern Illinois was rough. I kind of like had an Adderall addiction for a bit because this one like sketch ass guy I knew, he would sell his girlfriend's Adderall, and because I was like coming home all the time, I had easy access to like my plug. So we would just trade bonk. I would trade bowl hits for Adderall. So I'd be like, here, I'll pack the bowl. You can finish that bowl if you give me Addy. And be like, okay. This sketch ass white guy, bro. Why was I doing this shit? So yeah, man, Eastern Illinois was rough. And then I dropped out. I'm a 3-time college dropout because I keep trying instead of just realizing I just don't have it in me to fucking care anymore. It's the prereqs. I can't do the prereqs. If I'm going to school for social work, which I did, why am I taking environmental science? The world is dying. We know that. I don't need to sit through a class. If I'm taking elementary education, why am I having to take the history of art? I don't care who created the canvas. I don't care what materials make the paint. I just want to paint. So spending money to do classes I don't care about, I can't do it. So I'm a 3-time college dropout. I thought about going back, but I don't really have a clue what the fuck I want to do, honestly. I mean, I have like a few ideas of what I want to do, but there's nothing that I'm like, yeah, I want to pay thousands of dollars and focus 4 years to do this. My interest changed too much to be able to do that. So yeah, I dropped out of Eastern Illinois and I went back home to our little apartment in Norwich. And then a few months later, we moved to this fuck ass town that I live in now. And it's full of old, white, racist Republicans. And I'm a brown. So my jobs that I've had there haven't been the easiest because I'm young, I'm brown, and I disrespect back. And most of the jobs for people my age in my town are retail, and we don't really even have that many retail options there. So like if you have a job, you're every customer is going to be a regular customer because we only have like one of everything in my town, if that makes sense. So people forget that there's not that many options in my town, so they think that they can be rude to you and never see you again. I talk back. The customer is not always right with me. 9 times out of 10, you will never be right with me as a customer. My town is very rude to young people of color. And because of how I look, like I have piercings, I have tattoos, I'm automatically stereotyped to be one way. So before I even open my mouth to a customer, I'm already treated with such like they'll like like when I worked at Marshall, they're throwing the clothes at me. They're throwing their money at me. So what do? I throw their clothes back. I throw their money back. And I literally one time at Marshall's, I told a guy, if I wanted money to be thrown at me, I would be at a strip club making more than I do here. And I threw his money back at him. Like I'm a very outspoken person and that's why I've kind of struggled in my town. Um and also because it's an older demographic and population, it's hard to make friends. I don't really have friends in my town. I feel like I have more acquaintances. But other than that, like I go everywhere and do everything by myself in my town. I kind of like it that way though. It makes me like I feel like it's made me grow to be more comfortable with myself, like within my alone time, and I kind of appreciate it more now. And my tone is very slow paced, so going from Chicago where everything's on go like all the time, I used to hate my town because I'm like, oh my god, everything and everyone is so slow here. But now I'm like, no, like it's okay. It's made me like take a step back. Like I don't have to be on go. What am I rushing to? You know, like everything. The store is still gonna be there whether I go in 5 minutes or 5 hours. You know. So because I'm young and brown and bold, I quickly gained some enemies. I would say. When I worked at Marshall's, I again became the target of bullying, and I was bullied by these four grown ass women because, again, I don't let people talk to me any type of way. And it got to the point where I literally had to call the police on one of them and like file for a stalker no contact order. And like we had to go to court, and it was like a whole thing. So I called the cops on my coworker because she was constantly harassing me. And I reported it to our manager. I reported it to our district manager, our like state regional manager. Like I was reporting this to everyone, and no one was fucking doing anything. And I'm 22 years old. I personally think I'm too old to be fighting, especially if it's a lady older than my mom. As much as I want to beat your fucking ass, legally I can't. So, since I can't beat your fucking ass, I'm going to do the grown thing. And the grown thing is to call the police and take you to court. Because I grew up watching like Criminal Minds and Law and Order, and they made court seem fun. And because these ladies were making my fucking work life so miserable, why not have some fun with it, you know? So, all of her harassment led up to like this one big final blowout on shift, and everything again happened at like fucking 9 in the morning. I'm not a morning person. Y'all can't be catching me in the morning. I think that's the real issue is everyone tries me in the morning when I'm not the one to be tried in the morning. So this lady, her name is Sandy. She wasn't really the ringleader. She just happened to be the one that really pushed my buttons on the wrong day. Her name was Sandy. One day on the job, she randomly came up to me and my coworker and started telling us how she used to be a drug addict and would hide from the police in the walls of her house. So my nickname for her throughout the entirety of us working at Marshall's was Junkie. So that's how I'm going to refer to her in this story. So one day I was at work and Junkie approached me and said that I was not to be at work because I left earlier the day before because I was being harassed and I called every manager I could. No one did anything. If I'm being harassed at work, I'm not staying at work. I'm leaving. As I was walking out of the door that night, she said to me, Donna, our store manager at the time, she also got fired. Donna said you can't come back in if you leave early. Bitch, you're not Donna. You can't tell me what to do. So, went home that night, came back in. She approached me saying, you can't be here right now. Bitch, who are you? Who said I can't be here right now? Donna said you can't be here right now. Donna didn't tell me shit. So she started getting rowdy and in my face, so I started recording this. I have the whole interaction on my phone. It was a minute and 30 seconds long. And so I was like, okay, well, if she said this, have her say it to me, like call her up. And then I was recording and she was talking shit next to me on the phone with Donna. And they were like kikiing because Donna used everyone as her pawn. Donna was a mean girl deep down, but she tried to play so hard like that. I'm such a quiet, sweet lady. No. So her and Sandy were on the phone talking shit next to me. So yeah, after she approached me, I started recording on my phone. So I'm actually just going to insert that clip right here, right now, because it'll just demonstrate it better than I could probably put it into words.
Okay. All right. Bye. She said, that's fine, you can work today, but you have to stay up here. And she said that you will have termination papers next time she sees you.
No, I want them today. If I'm gonna be turned, I'm turned today.
I can't do that.
Oh, but I thought you were gonna answer.
Yeah. Okay. You know what I mean.
Oh, okay. So you're not gonna answer if I'm gonna turn me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm not getting my termination papers, I'm staying.
I just said that she said that.
Okay. All this she said, where is she then?
Desiree? Hi, Desiree. Quit being a bitch. How's that?
Oh, I'm a bitch. Takes one to know one. At least I'm not a drug addict.
Excuse me?
Did I stutter? I didn't, did I?
You're so lucky we're here.
Yeah? What are you gonna do to me?
Desiree, stop.
Then walk away. You're a grown woman. Walk away. Do you want to hit me? Go ahead. What is wrong with you? You're the one going through withdrawal. I can help you right here, sir. So yeah, so right when I stopped that video, I sent it to my parents, obviously. And my dad works 5 minutes from the Marshalls in my town that I worked at. So he skirted his way over and he watched the video again and he said, "You need to call the police." Because in the video, she basically threatened me. And again, I'm too grown to beat your ass. I'm just going to call the cops. So the cops come, they take both of our statements. I get sent home. The district, oh, because when the when we were waiting for the police, Sandy called Donna sobbing. "She's calling the police. I don't know what to do, Donna. She's calling the police." And I'm outside of her door like, "Yeah, bitch. Yeah, I did call the police." And my dad's standing there like, "Come out the office. Come out the office." My dad would never hit a woman, but he was so like, he just wanted to tell her off because like, why are you grown as fuck picking on little old me, you know? And then to threaten, like, she wasn't a manager, she was a key carrier. So honestly, what we were doing was basically the same level, but because she dick ride Donna so hard, Donna gave her the mindset that like, "Oh yeah, you're just as big as me," and she wasn't at all. So Sandy was on the phone crying to Donna, "She's calling the police, she's calling the police." So then Donna's over the phone saying she needs to go home, she needs to go home about me. But I was like, "Girl, you're not here. You're not telling me directly." So Sandy gives me the phone, and Donna's like, "You need to go home. You need to go home." And I said, "Donna, you need to stop being such a fucking weak ass bitch and hiding behind all of your employees because you're a pathetic ass fucking manager, and Marshalls would be embarrassed to ever have someone like you running their fucking store, you piece of fucking trash. You're nothing. You'll never accomplish anything in life." Something along those lines. I'm not gonna lie. So, because I said those things on the phone to Donna, she got in contact with our regional manager, who all of a sudden, after all this time of me reaching out about the harassment and could never get back to me, all of a sudden he could get back to Donna, and he sent them an email to print out and give to me, and the email said that I was to be suspended until they finished investigating the situation of what happened. So yeah, so to get me to go home, because I was like, I'm not going home. I'm on the schedule. I'm here to make my money. Yeah, because they were just like, go home, go home. But if I were to just leave, they could claim that as job abandonment. So that's why me and my dad were like, we need something on paper saying that you're telling me to go home right now. And I refused to leave because I'm like, you're not about to fuck up. Like, if I have to get on unemployment. Yeah, the whole thing was because she was telling me to go home, and I was like, I want it on paper. If you're sending me home, I need something written down saying I'm being sent home.
All
so
of
that
a sudden, this paper
this whole fucking time, I'm telling you, like an hour has gone by of all of this, and I'm literally, can I have it on paper? Can you just give me the fucking paper, bro? All that printer paper in the office, can you just fucking print something out? So she's like crying, she's being geeked out. And I'm just like, I don't give a fuck, bro. Just give me a paper. So then Donna got in contact with our regional manager. They sent an email over saying I was to be suspended, but I was suspended with pay upon further investigation, however they word that, yeah. So then the cops escorted me out, but she just walked with me. And so I went to the back, I got my stuff, and then I left. I was on paid suspension for 2 months. So April and May, paid suspension. I literally got paid to be at home. I would get high, I would tan in my backyard, and I would chill with my dog and my cat. And then, like a few weeks after that, we found Rocket at the library. And it was like perfect timing actually for me to not have a job because he was so okay. For the longest time, we thought when we found him, he was like 1 or 2 weeks old. But we did more research. He was dead ass maybe 2 days old when we found him. Like I had to bottle feed him. I had to like rub his tummy so he could use the bathroom. Like he literally would fit in the size, like in the palm of my hand. Like he was the size of the palm of my hand. So yeah, when people, that's not your son. Yes, it is. I stayed up with that boy throughout the night. So I was getting paid to be a stay-at-home mom, basically, and raise my little kitty cat. It was like the best time of my life. And then it was summer, and I didn't have a job, but I had my savings. But yeah, like I don't know, it was such a good summer. And granted, my experience at Marshall's didn't end the best, like at all, but it led into like my life now in a way, which is so beautiful to me. And I wake up every day so thankful to be where I am. That I'm like, fuck Marshalls, like, but also like, low key, thank you, Marshalls. All worked out. And now we have Rocket, and he's amazing. And no, he's so bad actually, but he's the best kitty. So as for myself, like, I don't really have any plans in a way, just because like I mentioned earlier, I know I want to go back to school. I don't really know what I would go back for at this time. But as for diving deep, I want it to be just natural, guys. Just come, let's hang, hear me talk, let's do our thing. I want to have more guests on. I want to use my voice as and my platform as like a voice for the people in a way. Like I'm never going to be afraid to call out injustice if I see it. I mean, I'm exposing myself. I'm going to expose everything. I don't care. I want this to be a very safe and open and honest space, not only for myself, but my guest included. Um, as for dream guest, I think right now I would say it's Arvin and Calvin from Abacada. My ultimate dream guest, I mean like Trisha Paytas, girl, come holla at me. Let's sit down. Bring Malibu Barbie and bring baby Elvis. um, but yeah, I don't know. I think diving deep is just going to be a thing that we take week by week, day by day. I would like to have merch at some point. Eliza and I made some merch ideas. That could be something, that could be a possibility. Um, I don't know, man. I'm not in it to like, I need thousands of viewers and thousands of followers. I'd rather have 20 dedicated fans watch my videos than 20,000 dedicated fans. And if I'm making merch just for those 20 people to buy it, then so fucking be it. We can be like our own little gang. But yeah, that's basically what's been going on. We have a episode planned and ready to go for next week, and we after that episode next week, we'll probably be taking a week off and use that time to prepare for our next 2 episodes. We have some pretty exciting guests and topics that I'm really excited to be able to just present and have ready for you guys. I think we'll be able to learn a thing or two about these guests coming up. My goal for episode wise would be um, once a week. I would like to post on Wednesdays, maybe around 7 o'clock. And I decided that day because all the podcasts that I watch are Tuesday and Thursday launches. So I think Wednesday would be nice in the middle, chill time or day of the week. And the 7 o'clock premiere time stems from the fact that me and my parents always watch podcasts during dinner, and we usually have dinner around 7 o'clock. So Wednesdays at 7. Most of the time, we'll have an episode ready for you guys then. So that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in and following along on our little journey here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with a few of your besties. And we'll see you next week on a new episode of Diving Deep with me, Des.
That's cute. Yeah.